don't. You're not selling anything.
The Fed's not done, and I'm going to tell you why.
Welcome back to Sean's show. I am so excited to be in the new year. Thank you guys so much for being a listener. Before we get going here, see me on the road. You may or may not know that I do stand-up comedy in addition to podcasting, which is quite a unique combo. There's not a lot of people out there that are doing what I'm doing, which is stand-up comedy and a weekly podcast. I think it's pretty unique. So you're very lucky that you are a fan of mine. So come see me on the road, guys. I'm in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Tampa, San Diego, all of this month. seanreillycomedy.com for tickets. I would love to see you at a live show. And it would really help if you could review the show on Spotify, like the video on YouTube, all that jazz. You know the deal. So let's get into it. I hope you had a great holiday. I've been away. I'm behind on the Patreon. I'm sorry. We're gonna get back on track. I hope you had a great holiday. I did. I was at my parents' place with my girlfriend, and it was nice. It was nice to be reminded of why I am the way I am. And I think that that's a big thing when you go home for the holidays is you realize that a lot of the things that people say that like you're fucked up, like people say I'm fucked up and like I'm crazy. And it's nice to go home and realize like, oh yeah, like it's not my fault. It's nice to go home and like talk to your father if you have one for like 15 minutes and then just like do some internal reflecting and just be like, oh yeah, like I'm like, that's why I have autism. Like that's why I push people away. That's why I drown my feelings in caffeine. So those are all lessons that I learned over the holidays. I want to do a quick, I guess this is a road story technically because I was on the road at my parents' place. I'm doing the road, guys. I'm going to the Bay. We're on the road. I'm having moldy pie. I went home and my dad almost fed us moldy apricot pie from these like small farms. You guys know these, you know what needs to end? We need to stop supporting roadside farms on interstate highways. I don't trust you. I do not trust your baking process, your cooking process. I don't know how long that shit has been on the shelf, but I'm not eating it. And I'll tell you why. We were cooking up an apricot pie. I don't even like apricot. Why are all of the flavors on the pies that are sold on the side of the road, why are they always the most disgusting fruits and flavors? Can't you and that is why you're not, that's why you're a bakery on the side of the fucking highway and you're not in Times Square. Because you're selling apricot pies. You're selling like bullshit cranberry cheesecake. Just that actually does sound kind of good. But the point is, it's like this is just for boomers love highway pie is what I'll call it. Boomers love pulling over on the side of the road and buying a moldy apricot pie from a Mexican woman. That is something that is just so deeply ingrained in their bones. And I have no idea why, because they spend $38 on a moldy fucking pie from 11 months ago. And then they bring it home and they try to kill their family with it because they don't love anyone. That's like the psychology of older people now. And I had to experience that. My I don't know if it was my mom or my dad. Someone in my family, they brought home an apricot pie. They spent $89. The price will continue to go up. They spent $189 on a vagrant pie. And they brought it home and we put it in our oven. And the mold, I probably have cancer now. And we pull it out of the oven and I immediately notice there's mold on the pie. And I go to my dad, I'm like, Dad, is this mold? And he's like, no, that's the apricots. And I was like, how are you not dead yet? How have you not been killed by a foodborne illness? No, that's the apricots. No, that's the apricots. Oh, no, it's fucking mold. I had a moldy ass holiday. My holiday was mold and rental cars. Fuck rental cars. Motherfuck an electric vehicle rental car. I will never, ever rent. You know, I was at Hertz and I got the manager special, which I thought would be good. I'm an idiot. I'm just a fucking idiot. I reserved here's a tip. If you travel a lot, maybe for work or because you have a secret family, if you travel and you use Hertz and you rent cars, here's a little thing that I learned that you may not have known. If you get the manager special at Hertz, that doesn't mean you get like a cool Corvette. The manager special is not a Ferrari. The manager special is an electric vehicle Kia that you will drive for 20 miles and then you'll have to pull over because you'll have to commit suicide because it'll be out of battery. I literally almost committed suicide because of this electric vehicle. They don't drive well in the cold, and electric vehicles these days, they all have they all tell you that the estimated range left on the EV is always higher than the actual range left. That's a fucking class action lawsuit to me, right? I mean, that's crazy. Imagine you're driving an EV and you're trying to charge it in 50 miles and the car says you're good to go. You got 80 miles left. And then 40 miles later, you're at 0. And now you have to pull over and buy a bullshit mold pie on the highway. That's what Kia wants to put you through and Hertz. So we're back. 2025, new year, new me, all that bullshit. We're not leaving anything in 2024. I don't like these I don't know if it's called an aphorism, whatever, all of these cultural touchstones, these phrases. I don't like them. What y'all leaving in 2024? Shut the fuck up. Get off Threads. Hey, y'all, what are y'all leaving in 2024? What are y'all bringing into 2025? Shut the fuck up. Live your life. It's an do I really have to say this? Do I really have to be the cringe autistic guy that says this? Because I will. The new year is an inconsequential moment in the universe that we ascribe value to because we're human and we need a ritual. That's what it is, okay? And that doesn't mean it has no meaning. But that wasn't, I'm sorry, that I had a lot of Adderall today and coffee. No, not Adderall. But we're back in it. We have so much news to cover, so we're going to get right into it. The biggest story, the second, no. We'll start with what I want to start with. So Modern Warfare is very different. You know, most people think Modern Warfare, not like the game, actual warfare, Modern Warfare I'm talking about. Most people think that involves UAVs, unmanned drones, cyber attacks, you know, robot spy, I don't know, naked robot Asian spy bitches that, you know, fuck politicians for information. Like, that's what maybe not. That's what they think Modern Warfare is. Now, it's not that. It's actually very different. And so I'm going to play a video for you shortly that I think is really important, and it speaks to how innovation and creativity are not exactly what you think. And so let's cut to the video and let's take a look here. And this is one of the biggest wars that's happening right now. It's the Russia-Ukraine war. And I am not pro-Russia. I'm not pro-Ukraine. I think both of them should be nuked by America. However, no matter where you fall on this issue, whether you're pro-Russia or pro-Ukraine, you have to admire Russia's ability to innovate in the war economy. And so what we're going to watch here is what we're about to watch is a bunch of Russian soldiers attacking in the Toretsk region And you might be able to see from the video already, but they're on bird scooters. Like in Austin, Texas, or Los Angeles. Like lime and bird scooters that dumb white bitches ride when they're drunk. They're also being used to slaughter Ukrainian civilians. So let's take a look here. So this is from a drone here. I like the background music. That guy just fell. He fell off his scooter. I'm telling you guys, these scooters are dangerous. The scooters are dangerous. Pete, imagine, I have a lot of sympathy for these Russian soldiers. I ride the e-scooter. I ride bird scooters on concrete and I eat shit. Imagine what it's like trying to ride a fucking bird scooter in a war zone. Okay? That's why when people are like, fuck Russia. Hey, yes, fuck Putin. That's what you mean to say. Fuck Putin for sending these men to their deaths. These guys are just trying to do their thing. And you know, they're not. No one wants to go to Ukraine on a bird scooter by choice, okay? These are not men that had any sort of privilege in their life. They're slaves. They were slaves that were sent by Putin and his generals into Ukraine. So we need to have a little bit of sympathy for both sides. Okay? It's important. I guarantee you the Russian general was like, these e-scooters, they're very good. Very good e-scooters. I don't know if that's Arab or Russian. I'm not good at accents. Fuck you guys. Send them. I don't even know what Russian sounds like. Putin is like, whatever. They're on e-scooters and they're riding into, let's keep watching. It looks kind of, doesn't it look fun? It looks kind of fun, if I'm being honest. So, all right, I mean, like, enough with the music. We don't really need the, I mean, they're literally being blown up. It's really sad, honestly. All right, that's all the e-scooter. I guess that's all the e-scooter factors. Okay, that's enough for that video. But the point is that modern warfare is changing a lot, and I think it's very important that we recognize and understand that it's going to be very surprising. You know, the things that these militaries are going to do. It's going to surprise us. Now, the fact that Russian soldiers are on e-scooters, does that mean that Russia is getting desperate? Or are they masterminds? I don't know. Here's an excerpt from this story, though, that because I do want to zoom in on this. So here's a quote from the New York Times article, the failing New York Times, in the words of the great Donald Trump, who I'm a big fan of. Like every other podcaster now, every podcaster loves Donald Trump. Is it okay to do a podcast and hate all politicians anymore? I thought comedians hate politicians. You know? Now we're all just, I guess we're all just commentators. I guess I'm a comedian that does a podcast. I'm a comedian that does a news show. You know? Anyway, I digress. Here's a quote from the story. Hitting just one piece of equipment carrying 15 people, well, that's possible. It can be done quite easily, he said. But when those 15 people are riding electric scooters, then that's a very big problem. Now, if only we had a weapon that could hit 15 people riding electric scooters in Austin, Texas, that would be a weapon I would support. Because that would be a net benefit to society if we had some sort of drone that could target tech bros on e-scooters in Austin, Texas. That would be good. And LA too, as well. Don't think I'm just shitting on Austin. So I guess the offensive on Ukraine is stepping up. And again, this is not something I really focus on a lot in the show. But once I saw that they're on e-scooters, like, I'm invested again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck about Russia, Ukraine at all. But the fact that they're on e-scooters, like, makes me invested in the story, if that makes sense. I mean, it's just hilarious. They're not even riding them that well. Like, it's wild. Also, is like bird who is making these e-scooters? Is there like a Russian e-scooter company that's now a defense contractor? And that's the point I'm trying to get to, is that like every company in Silicon Valley eventually wants to be a defense contractor. And I don't care if they say that they're having this. I'm gonna take these headphones off. I don't care if they are saying that they exist for the benefit of humanity and they want to connect. Our company is called We Connect. And what we are all about is connecting people together and spreading love across the world. And we're also really excited to announce a $15 million contract with DARPA and the CIA, which focuses on spreading that love. That is Silicon Valley in a nutshell. Every single startup, whether or in Russia, whatever, every company eventually wants to be a defense contractor. Look at Elon Musk. All of his fucking companies contract with the military and defense now. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I like it. I like that e-scooter companies can eventually become military weapons of war. So let's move on. This is the biggest story of the week. And this was just this morning. And I want to tread lightly here because it's pretty tragic. 10 people were murdered today and dozens were injured after a driver drove a pickup truck through Bourbon Street in New Orleans, which I've been to, and I'm a big fan of New Orleans. I'm a big fan of the culture. Bourbon Street is just an absolute blast. I love the French Quarter. And this left a lot of people confused. It left a lot of people wondering what's next. You know, why would someone do this? And the biggest question that we're all asking as a nation is the Sugar Bowl still on? And the answer is yes. The answer is, of course, yes. This man, which they're calling a terrorist because he's Arab, because we're a racist country. Well, he had an ISIS flag in his truck. He's probably okay. But the point is, a man plowed. This happens a lot. I mean, this happens a lot now. I think trucks are becoming the almost as popular as not statistically speaking, but trucks are used a lot more, it seems, nowadays for terrorist attacks, more than AR-15s. It seems like the Arabs prefer trucks and the whites prefer AR-15s. I don't know why that is, but just seems to be an observation. So there was a terrorist attack in New Orleans, and this guy killed a bunch of people, and it's fucking tragic. It's horrible. I've seen a bunch of videos about it. It's terrible. People are crying. They're running from this guy, and he dies in a firefight with the police. But on the bright side, college football is still on, and that's very important that college football remain. It has to happen. Notre Dame and Georgia are the number 2 and 3 seeds, okay? We can't just not do that because a terrorist killed a bunch of people in the same city. That would be crazy. No, because then New Orleans would suffer and lose a bunch of tax revenue from all the tourism. You understand? Everyone's devastated. Everyone in New Orleans, all the officials, the Sugar Bowl committee, fuck the Sugar Bowl committee. Everyone on the Sugar Bowl committee was devastated to learn about this terrorist attack on Bourbon Street. But they weren't devastated enough to cancel the football game. And that's the sickness of this country, is that no matter what, this guy could have blown up half of fucking Bourbon Street. If he killed hundreds of people, they still would have had their fucking college football game. And I'm not anti-sports. I like sports. I like hanging out with my retarded friends and pretending to have fun with them while they watch men get CTE. Don't get me wrong. I like watching men get CTE as much as the next guy. But can't we have a pause? Can't we just pause for a moment and have some goddamn sympathy when people are ran over by a fucking terrorist in a pickup truck? Can't we pause for 1 second? No, no, no. We have to do the college football game. And here's how they spin it. In fact, now we need to have the college football game. It's even more important that we have the college football game. It's even more important to show those terrorists that we're not afraid of you. We're not afraid. Also, we need the tax revenue. Also, we need the money. Also, we need the football. We need to keep people distracted because we need to keep people distracted with football, because if they're not distracted with football, then they're going to realize that our country's fucked up in so many different ways, and they're going to have a day to think and sit and think, and oh my God, why did we allow a man to plow a truck through all these people, and how did it get to this point? We can't let them think about that. So we have to have Notre Dame and Georgia. The Fighting Irish have to have their game. So that's how I feel about it, and you know it's still developing. We'll find out. I don't know. Look, I don't want to be too much of a prick here. I'm not saying I'm smarter than people. I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anyone that enjoys college football. I think a lot of my listeners probably enjoy college football and shooting fentanyl into their arms. So I don't want to lose you as a fan. But I'm just saying that is exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm smarter. I'm saying that if you're a fan of college football, it makes you a retard, and it means you don't read. And yes, this is a show for nerds, and I'm not gonna front. This is a show for elitist nerds. Okay, so either you're with me or you're against me. In conclusion with this story, I have my money on Notre Dame. So if you're a Georgia fan, I would also suggest that you hit that little X and stop listening, because this is a Notre Dame family podcast. Okay. I've been rooting since Notre Dame since the beginning of the season. And I'm very excited to see what they do with the Sugar Bowl today. There could be another terrorist attack at the fucking Sugar Bowl. Everyone I know that is a big fan of college football is also a violent, raging alcoholic. And that is not a correlation, that's a causation. Okay? And I know that this is a trope and this is not that like genius of an observation, but like literally everyone I've met in my life that watches college football, they have mommy issues. Is this hitting for anyone? I don't know. Maybe this is just me. I think about everyone I've known that likes college football. They hate their moms. They want to kill their moms. And they are obsessed with DraftKings and Bud Light and Lone Stars. And they hate terrorism, which I do too. But that's where we're at in America. Very soon, if we don't fix it, I'm not being over dramatic, guys. If we don't fix this shit soon, if we don't find a way to stop terrorists from plowing through innocent people on New Year's Eve, you don't understand. If we don't find a way to stop this, one day you're going to find yourself riding on an e-scooter through the rubble of downtown LA fighting China. So it's up to you. Do you want to end up like those Russian soldiers riding on e-scooters through the dirt? Okay? Because if you keep watching college football and ignoring all the problems in our country, that's what's going to happen. One day there's going to be a Sugar Bowl, and the next day you're going to wake up and you're going to be on a Lime scooter with an AK-47 shooting at Chinese kids. That's where we're headed as a country. I'm sorry. So let's move on. I just had to cover the big stuff. So now let's move into tech. Very violent. Well, we're not even 12. It's like 2 p.m. We're 14 hours into the new year, and there's been a terrorist attack Uh, there was a cyber attack, which we'll get to. China hacked us. Not even 12 hours. This guy at the Bourbon attack was at 3 a.m. 3 hours into the fucking new year. This guy's plowing through innocent people on Bourbon Street. That's a world record. So, let's move on. So, OpenAI, which I love covering. I love covering OpenAI because it's really, and I'm not just saying these words to try to sound smart. OpenAI, what goes on in OpenAI and the movements of this company, it's really a bellwether for where we're headed as a country. Because it's a company that has Sam Altman is an amoral psychopath. Make no mistake. Sam Altman is an amoral psychopath that will do anything to gain more power. And you know how what I was talking about with Silicon Valley, where all of these companies eventually become defense contractors? Well, guess what? OpenAI is going to become, if they're not already, I'm pretty sure they are. They're going to become a defense contractor, and they're going to do their OpenAI is already more powerful than the U.S. government. And I know that's crazy to say, but Sam Altman and OpenAI have an unbelievable amount of power. Rivaling Elon Musk probably. Sam Altman could be the president someday. Elon Musk. I mean, this is where we're at. And I do like to make predictions. So if I'm wrong about this, I'll own that. But I really think 2028, I think that the presidential election, it could be something like Elon Musk versus Haley Welch. Is that crazy? Hear me out. I think that Elon Musk, well, Haley Welch is Republican. Okay, I think it could be Elon Musk and Haley Welch versus AOC and Timothy Chalamet. Wouldn't that be a crazy matchup? I feel like that's where we're headed. Or Anderson Cooper. That's where we're headed. But I want to go back to OpenAI. So there's a huge story that's kind of breaking. It's kind of crept up, and it speaks to what OpenAI really is, because OpenAI says that they're a company that exists to make AI for the benefit of humanity. We're a nonprofit. Here's how OpenAI has changed in a matter of years. They started out, we're a nonprofit. We exist to help humanity. We're not worried about money. We want to make sure AI is safe and safe for the public, and we want to make sure we do the right thing. Cut to now. Mother of OpenAI whistleblower alleges he was murdered. Says there were signs of a struggle. So we've gone from nonprofit, save the world, make sure OpenAI is safe, to murdering whistleblowers in their homes and covering it up. And this is the quintessential evolution of every Silicon Valley company. And I love it. I love it. I love it when they all turn to the Sith. They're fucking Anakin Skywalker. So let's take a look here. They've bought everything. So check this out. Check this shit out. This is crazy. And this will matter more as time goes on. And as OpenAI gets more relevant culturally, and ChatGPT becomes more of a, they're the next Google, right? We're not Googling anymore. We're ChatGPTing. The family of Suchir Balaji, the 26-year-old OpenAI whistleblower who was found dead just a month after his New York Times expose was published, is claiming that the young man was murdered. So if you don't know, let me catch you up. This OpenAI researcher quits his job, publishes this expose on OpenAI in the New York Times, and then a month later is found dead, quote unquote, found dead in his apartment. That should raise some alarm bells. Is that a company that you trust? This is Boeing vibes. Boeing kills whistleblowers and it becomes a national news story. OpenAI, and that should also raise a question too. How come when Boeing kills whistleblowers, allegedly kills whistleblowers, it's a national news story and there's a congressional hearing about it? But when OpenAI, a more powerful company than Boeing, in my opinion, kills whistleblowers, it's suppressed. That's because they control the internet. Okay? And we live in a technocracy. So his mom, this is fucking horrible. His mom hired a private investigator and did a second autopsy to find out the actual cause of death. And the private autopsy doesn't confirm the cause of death stated by police. Suture's apartment was ransacked. Signs of struggle in the bathroom, and looks like someone hit him in the bathroom based on the blood spots. They say that it looks. They say that the city of San Francisco is covering up a quote unquote cold-blooded murder. So this should. I mean, this is very scary. This is just a very scary thing to happen, and I'm really devastated because I'm guessing that this researcher had a lot of private stock in OpenAI and now it's just gone. And I just wish I had that stock. I don't feel a whole lot of sympathy for this guy because you took a job at OpenAI, bro. You took a job with the devil and the devil killed you. And I'm not like, sorry. I mean, look, I'm jealous. I'm just jealous that I'm honestly jealous of this guy's life. To get a job at OpenAI and then be a whistleblower against them and then get murdered by the hitman that they hired to kill you is a pretty cool life. Here's more on this guy. From his whistleblowing report, he says, "If you believe what I believe, you just have to leave the company." That should scare the piss out of everyone. This guy was at OpenAI and left because he saw too much and was like, holy fuck. And yeah, it's just a crazy it's a crazy time, and there's no way that this guy committed suicide. There's no way that you have stock in OpenAI and you commit suicide. Because this guy was rich. Young, hot, rich Indian guy in San Francisco. There's no way he committed suicide. He's on top of the world. OpenAI killed this guy, in my opinion. But does it really matter? No one really cares. I'm the only guy talking about this. No one really gives a shit. All they want from AI is all people want from people. Here's the thing. People, when it comes to AI, they don't care if it's evil, if it steals from artists. They don't care if all your information is sold to China and nothing is private and there's no security. As long as it can generate Sonic the Hedgehog hentai, that's all that matters to people. And I'm not speaking about myself because I don't watch that. But a lot of people, all they want from AI, they go, I don't care how you do it. I don't care if Sonic the Hedgehog hentai emits thousands of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere from the data centers. I don't care. Give me my Sonic hentai. And that's the real tragedy of AI. Because that was the initial idea behind AI, was what if we could use GPUs and data centers to create animations of Sonic having sex with Eggman or Dr. Egg, whatever the fuck his name was. What's that guy's name? Dr. Eggman. So there's an investigation. The police ruled it a suicide when it was clearly not. And we're just gonna keep following the story because it's really scary. It's just a scary time. And it goes to show that anyone who talks about AI or whistleblows will be murdered by a shadow figure. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Altman went into this guy's house and personally killed him. Look into Sam Altman's eyes. You know that man is capable of murder. You know that man is capable of hiring people to commit murder to protect his company. And this is a comedy show. So I want you to know that. But look into his eyes. Look deep into Sam Altman's eyes, and you will find nothing but black. You will find nothing but a void. You think about someone that let's do a little exercise. Think about someone that you love very much. And I know that if you listen to this show, maybe you don't have loved ones and you're a destitute fentanyl addict. Or on the flip side, you are a Goldman Sachs executive, but in both cases, you have no one that loves you. But if you don't, I want you to pretend that you have someone that loves you and think about their face. Just close your eyes, unless you're driving, especially if you're driving. Close your eyes right now if you're driving. No, don't do that. Close your eyes and just picture that person that you love. Do you have the picture? Do you have their face in your mind? Now look into that person's eyes. What do you feel? I'll do it with you. You feel a sense of warmth, right? They're smiling at you, right? They're laughing. You're at the beach. Maybe you're making love with them, unless they're your mom. Look, let me stay on track. You're looking into their eyes and you feel at home. You feel peace. Now, keep your eyes closed. What I want you to do is replace that person with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. And now I want you to tell me what you see. Say it out loud. Sean, I see nothing. Look into Sam Altman's eyes. And you will see images of an Indian man being brutally murdered in his own apartment for criticizing OpenAI. You will see images of a man getting his head bashed into a bathroom sink because he did a New York Times op-ed. That is what Sam Altman, open your eyes. OpenAI's. Wow, that's a connection. OpenAI's, open your eyes. Open your eyes. That is what Sam Altman's capable of, and so I just want to put a pin in that, and we're going to keep following it because this is a company that is probably more evil than Boeing and Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin. So that's that. We'll move on. China hacked the Treasury Department, and no one gives a fuck. This is a show about the news that no one gives a fuck about, that actually matter. This is a show where I joke about the news that no one gives a fuck about, that actually affects society. China hacked the Treasury Department, and so this is a big one. Apparently, allegedly, a Chinese-sponsored actor, and no, I'm not talking about like a film actor. I'm talking about an entity. A Chinese entity hacked into the Treasury Department and apparently stole a bunch of top secret confidential information, including amongst that information, apparently was one of the biggest secrets of the Treasury Department, which is the stated purpose of the Treasury Department. That was stolen. And that's a very bad news because no one really knows what the Treasury Department does except for the Treasury Department. And so the fact that China stole that and now they know what the Treasury Department does is very bad. Because I don't think anyone in America knows. I don't think the director of the Treasury Department knows what the Treasury Department does. But But China hacked the Treasury Department, and they got in through a contractor that the Treasury Department uses, a security company called Beyond Trust. Now, hiring a company called Beyond Trust for your security is like trusting a company called Beyond Meat for your meat. Wait a minute. That's, you know what I mean? Beyond Trust, Beyond Meat. Everything's beyond. I'm beyond trusting anything. So China got in through this contractor called Beyond Trust, and you guys know me. I do my digging, I do my research, I go down the rabbit holes because I love you, and I want to give you, not like I don't actually love you. I don't, stay the fuck away from me. But I want to give you the right information. So Beyond Trust is actually a subsidiary of another company called I just said I did the research and now I don't know the info. Let's see. It's a company, it's a subsidiary of a larger security company called, drum roll please, Bomgar. And guess who Bomgar is owned by? A private equity firm. Ding, 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 ding. Private equity ruins everything. They really do. I would know. I'm in private equity. We ruin everything. What private equity does is they buy a company, and then they buy another company, and then they merge them all, and then they sell it again to a larger company in a massive mergers and acquisitions orgy where guess who gets fucked the most? You guys. And the Treasury Department, apparently. So the Treasury Department trusted this company with its secrets and its cybersecurity and its IT operations, and basically trusted this private equity firm run by a bunch of dumb MBA retards named Jared, who stripped the company of its resources, and that's why got hacked by China. And you know, but don't worry, they're on it. Beyond Trust, they're on it. They're on it. Our infrastructure is fine. They're covering it. They acknowledge the mistake, and here's what they had to say. A spokesperson for Beyond Trust, based in Johns Creek, Georgia, told Reuters in an email that the company previously identified and took measures to address a security incident in early December involving its remote support product. Beyond Trust notified the limited number of customers who were involved. I love that. Don't worry. China hacked our Treasury Department, but only a limited number of customers were involved. I have great news for you. We found a limited number of tennis ball-sized tumors in your brain. It's a limited number, so you don't have to worry. The number of tumors in your brain is limited, so we got it covered. That's what they're saying. But you know, this may be one of a lot of shit. We only hear about like 10% of these things. A lot of them get covered up. We only hear about 10% of the fucking hacks. So the fact that China was able to hack the Treasury Department should scare all of us. Also, but kind of the joke is on China. The joke's on China because guess what? The Department of Government Efficiency was already going to start contracting with Chinese companies for security anyway, to save some coin. So the joke's on China. Speaking of China, let's move on to Costco. I don't know if Costco is related to China. Probably somehow. But we have a housing crisis nationwide in America, as you may or may not know. But the affordable housing crisis, who wants to solve it? Costco, excuse me. A real estate developer in Los Angeles is testing a new blueprint for affordable housing. Stacking apartments on top of a Costco. Isn't that just a great sentence? Let me read it again. A real estate developer in LA is testing a new blueprint for affordable housing, stacking apartments on a Costco. That's fantastic. I love that my grocery stores are also real estate investment companies now. I love that my grocery store is a landlord. That's great. I love it. More of that. How about this? In 2025, more grocery stores should become our landlords. More Whole Foods is owned by Amazon. More grocery stores should become our data centers. How about this? How about every grocery store is a defense contractor? For every grocery store, I want them to sell scooters to DARPA. I want every grocery store to bomb kids in Gaza. I want every national grocery store chain to be involved in the bombing of hospitals in Gaza. That is what we are looking at in 2025, and I want more. I want more. I want Costco to evict people. I want Costco to be involved in the selling of affordable housing. I want them to sell fucking gold bars to people who should have bought Bitcoin, by the way. And I want them to be involved in creating shithole apartments for Costco slaves. Construction is expected to finish in 2027. To build the apartments faster, Thrive plans to use off-site modular construction. Oh, great. So the real estate company that Costco is partnering with is going to build them off-site, probably in China. Flying. Here's what we're at. Here's what America does now. We're going to build, I don't know if they're actually being built in China. We're going to build apartments in Alabama. Mexican illegal immigrants are going to build apartments in Alabama, and they're going to be shipped to LA to be put on the top of a Costco. And then those same migrants are going to live in those apartments, and it will all be subsidized by the LA taxpayer. How do I feel about that? I'm rock fucking hard. You understand? This is what happens when you just don't build housing in the first place. When you don't build housing and you don't allow housing to be built, it eventually these assholes at Costco, the board of directors of Costco, get the bright idea to build housing. Housing is in such short supply across the country that it's economical for Costco to build housing. That's how much of a supply shortage there is. And that's just utterly it's insane. Like, it's just put a rusty nail in my fucking head. I just don't understand. Well, I do understand. It's lobbying. We all know that it's lobbying. We all know that it's these real estate companies lobbying the government and all of these homeowners showing up on Tuesday morning to a local election or a local board, a local city council, and not, these NIMBYs that don't want to change the character of the neighborhood. AKA, when people say I don't want the character of my neighborhood to change, so that's why I don't want more housing. What they're really saying is I don't want these blacks in my neighborhood. I'm sorry. That's a little that's what they're saying. That's what my dad is. No, I'm kidding. My dad is very pro affordable housing. And he's pro moldy pies. So we're gonna finish up with my questions from my fans, which you are included. I love doing this. This is my favorite part of the show. I'm gonna answer some questions from the audience, which you are, and we're gonna do that right now. That was me stalling to pull them up. So, question, and by the way, if you don't know how to ask me questions, join my Facebook group, facebook.com Facebook.com/group/Sean Show. I love hearing from you guys. I want to make it a dialogue again. And if you join the Facebook group, I actually just put up a post, a kind of a behind the scenes post. I'm actually building a new studio and I'm expanding the show and what the show is. Again, my parents are landlords. I have basically endless money to spend on this show. So get in now. Getting invested in Sean's show now is like buying Dogecoin in 2014. It makes you a fucking loser. So join the Facebook group where I posted a very cool photo of the studio. Facebook.com/group/Sean Show. Questions from William. William, I love you. Shout out to William for asking questions. I'll shout you out. If you ask questions next week, you will get a shout out. I will only say your first name. Don't worry. I don't dox my listeners unless they fuck with me. Okay. William, his first question, are you going to miss TikTok? Well, William, no, I'm not going to miss TikTok because it's not getting banned. Because guess what? If it gets banned, I'm going to kill myself. I will kill myself, okay? I have 28,000 followers on TikTok. You think I'm bullshitting you? Or do I have 23? I think I have 27. I have 27,000 followers on TikTok. So if it gets banned, I'm putting a gun in my mouth, okay? Now, I guess they're going to do the Supreme Court's going to do a ruling on it, and we're going to find out exactly what will happen with TikTok. I sound like Trump. I guess we'll find out. We'll wait and see. Trump says he has a soft spot for TikTok, and that is an interesting change of rhetoric from a year ago, which is that it was a Chinese psyop. So which is it, Trump? Is TikTok a Chinese psyop, or do you have a soft spot for it, or both? I don't know. But honestly, I kind of hope TikTok gets banned because I am tired of cycling through 20 different fucking apps every time I open my phone and melting my fucking brain. So if we can get that number down to 19, I'll be a happy camper. Okay? I hope TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, I hope they all get banned so that when I open my phone, all I have to cycle through is Gmail, Outlook Mail, and Yahoo Mail. That'd be a great world, is if all I cycle through and doom scroll on my phone is Gmail, Ymail, and WhatsApp. But I don't know. We'll see, man. I do like TikTok. I think it is a people. So I guess the ACLU. I don't know if it's the ACLU, but or not. It's not the ACLU. TikTok is alleging that this is a violation of the First Amendment. If TikTok gets banned, TikTok's argument is that it's unconstitutional to ban TikTok because it's a violation of the First Amendment right to freedom of speech. And this is an argument that I think holds no water. It holds absolutely no water because the right of people like, I don't know if civics is taught in school anymore. But the First Amendment, and correct me if I'm wrong, William, or any of my other listeners. And again, I'm not trying to take a ideological position on this. But if you look at, and again, I know that the First Amendment is up for interpretation. I understand all of that, blah, blah, blah. But anyone who looks at the Constitution and reads the First Amendment, understand that it is about the government suppressing your individual right to freedom of speech. Now, TikTok is a private company controlled by Xi Jinping, Bill Gates, and Jeffrey Epstein. If you believe what I believe, you believe that TikTok is controlled by P. Diddy, Michael Jackson, who is still alive, and Walt Disney. Renowned Nazi Walt Disney control TikTok. And it is and they're the shareholders, and China is a shareholder. I'm a shareholder. And it is our right as the shareholders of this private company to do what we want. Okay? And if the government finds that TikTok is a national security threat, then the government has the right to ban TikTok. I know that strayed a little bit from your initial question, but yeah, man, I'm gonna miss TikTok. I'm gonna miss the trends. I believe the ice bucket challenge was on TikTok. That was a while ago. I can't remember. I'm gonna miss the remember the milk crate challenge? I mean, come on. TikTok is the only app that could allow the milk crate challenge to go as far as it did. People died. You realize people died in the milk crate challenge? Or they're like horrifically permanently injured? Imagine doing the milk crate challenge on TikTok and being permanently disfigured because of an app or your stupidity. So
Sean,
I don't know, man. I guess I won't know if I miss it until it's gone.
Sean, I have breaking news for you. This
Okay.
is relevant. Sugar Bowl postponed.
It's postponed?
Postponed.
Oh my God. This is America saved. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. The Sugar Bowl is postponed. Do we know if it's because of a suspected terrorist attack? Or is that the only
It says following. So the headlines: the Sugar Bowl will not be played Wednesday. Sources told ESPN's Pete Thamel following a deadly pickup truck attack in New Orleans that killed at least 15 people.
This is unacceptable. The Sugar Bowl must go on. The Sugar Bowl must go on. I know I said it earlier that it's a shame that it's happening, but God damn it, I want to see Georgia versus Notre Dame. What am I going to do all day? You realize now I have to just drink and I have to get hammered and what? Talk to my girlfriend? Jesus fucking Christ. Wow. Thanks for the breaking news. Wow. Good God. So it's postponed, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. See, that's why you watch Sean's show. We have live real-time updates. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm real-time reacting to this. That makes me think that maybe there's almost maybe there's something inside of the arena that might be a threat. Because for them to postpone it, we have to realize that a lot of people are going to fly home. A lot of people have flights booked. They fly in for this kind of stuff. So a lot of people, I think, are going to fly home. Well, I don't know. The ticket, maybe they'll extend their stay. Or maybe it was a PR thing. Maybe they finally woke up, and it's a shame it took this long. Once the terrorist runs over the people, you should postpone it that hour. Right? But there's this, it's this massive bureaucracy where the Sugar Bowl committee has to meet up and they have to smoke cigars and they have to cheat on their wives to decide to postpone the Sugar Bowl. So, college football fans, I'm really sorry, but I guess you'll have to drink and hit your girlfriend instead of watching college football. And this is kind of fucked up, but yes, the Sugar Bowl should be postponed to pay respects to the people that were run over by this fucking terrorist. But also, we have to also send our thoughts and prayers to all the girlfriends who are going to be slapped and beaten because these men have nothing to do today now. They have nothing to do. They're already hammered. They've already got the barbecue wings. They're already wearing their jersey. They're all amped up. They did a lot of coke in the bathroom. They did a key bump. They're on their couch. It's a sunny, beautiful day in America, and the game was postponed. Are we going to let the fucking terrorists win? Are we going to let the terrorists win? That's my question to you today. Postponing the Sugar Bowl because a little terrorist killed a tiny amount of people in a small town is letting the terrorists win. Today, January 1st, 2025, we let ISIS win. We let Al-Qaeda win. We let Hamas win. Benjamin Netanyahu just shed a single tear because he was going to watch the game. You understand that Benjamin Netanyahu is a Notre Dame fan? Imagine how many kids in Gaza are going to die because Benjamin Netanyahu is mad because he's not going to be able to watch the motherfucking Sugar Bowl. If I can't watch the Sugar Bowl, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get in my truck and I'm going to run over a bunch of fucking people. No, I'm not. Okay, back to the questions, and we're going to close it out. William asks, have you heard about people having conspiracies on fog lately, claiming it's not fog, but quote unquote smart dust? Now, William, I did my research, and it's actually not a conspiracy, and I take offense at your framing that it is a conspiracy. Smart dust is very real. It's called cocaine, and it's very potent. No, smart dust is, I'm an engineer. I'm very technical. And if you'll actually read, this is from Forbes magazine, I believe, practical applications of smart dust. So smart dust is basically the idea that there are these small MEMS, which is a microelectronic memory system, I think. Let me see if I got that right. Sorry. Micro electromechanical systems, often called motes, are real. So this is real. It's not a conspiracy. And they, what is it? So they are basically they're microscopic sensors that are airborne, and they only take up a few millimeters in volume, and they can, with such a small size, these devices can stay suspended in an environment just like a particle of dust. And here's what smart dust can do. William, this is very scary or exciting depending on how you look at it. So here's the applications of smart dust. It can collect data, including acceleration, stress, pressure, humidity, sound, and more from sensors. It can process data with what amounts to an onboard computer system. It can store data in memory. And this is a really exciting application, it can detect whether or not you're an American citizen. That's a very powerful application of smart dust that I'm very much looking forward to. It can detect how many migrants are in the area. My dad has sciatica, and it flares up when there's migrants around. So I think this smart dust could really help him out. What should we do to prepare? Forbes magazine says, what should we do to prepare for smart dust? The entities who have led the development of smart dust include corporations such as General Electric, TikTok, I'm kidding, Cargill, IBM, and Cisco. And obviously the fucking CIA. This is going to be used to spy. It's going to be used to spy on Russia, which I think is very cool. The CIA, I mean, again, people say this, and I think it's true. Whenever we learn about smart dust, the CIA and DARPA are 10 years ahead, roughly 5 to 10 years ahead. I do believe that. So I like it. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for smart dust. I'm actually a user of smart dust. Every time you listen to Sean's show, the speakers in your car or in your speakers or in your headphones actually deploy smart dust into your lungs and brain. So I actually have data on all of you. So that's actually one of the benefits of listening to Sean's show is my smart dust enters your body. I'm in your body now. That's the world we live in. So I'm very excited, William. Number 3, do you have any New Year's traditions that you practice out of the norm? That's a good question. I mean, William, other than the Silicon Valley blood orgies where I jack off onto adrenochrome, here's one. Well, obviously I do the stuff that everyone else does, which is I jack off into a bucket of adrenochrome and then I roll around in it. But stuff that's out of the norm, I don't know. I like to light up a sparkler and kind of dance around. Is that kind of freaky? I like to light up a sparkler and have fun with my friends and family. You know what is out of the norm? Here's a New Year's tradition that's out of the norm, William. I like to spend time with my family. That's out of the norm these days in America. A lot of people, all they do is they sit at home and they're binging content. They're watching Squid Game season 2, which I loved, by the way. I highly recommend Squid Game season 2. No, I'm trying to think. Out of the norm New Year's celebrations. You know what I do? I take a day off. I work my fucking ass off every day, and I take a grueling 24 hours off from work. And that is a fucking hard thing for me to do because I am a fighting Irish Notre Dame bastard. Number 4. Do you think Trump is going to throw a fit about the flags being half-mast for the inauguration? I actually had not heard about this story, William. Half-mast flags for the inauguration? Let's find out more. I don't know how I missed this story. America will be officially in mourning on Trump's inauguration day. American flags will still be flying at half-mast on January 20 due to Jimmy Carter's death on Sunday. Okay. Oh, I don't know. That's just a formality. I mean, again, I actually don't think the flags will be flying at half-mast because they'll be on fire. Because the liberals are going to January 6th the world. People forget that liberals are just as capable of a Jan 6 as conservatives. The only difference between a liberal and a conservative January 6th is that the liberal Jan 6 have way more ketamine, and liberals have more fun. You know how they say blondes have more fun? Liberals have more fun. That's actually not true. So I don't know. I think that could be a hit to Trump's ego, but how about this? Number 5. Oh yeah, Elon's Adrian Dittman. So William asks, how about Elon cucking himself with a burner account on Twitter, which is crazy. What's your take on Adrian Dittman, which is Elon Musk's alter ego? I've heard someone refer to himself as the real life Dwight Schrute. So if you don't know this story, Elon Musk on X has a burner Twitter profile, like an alter ego called Adrian Dittman, where he basically compliments himself on his own Twitter posts, where Elon Musk will be like, take a photo with his son. And then as Adrian Dittman, he'll be like, wow, he's so lucky to have a father like you, Elon. And it's him commenting. And this man is the richest man in the world, on the planet. It's insane. What if I did that? What if I listened to my own show and I commented as someone else on my own podcast and I was like, Sean, you're hilarious. I love all your takes. Honestly, that sounds like a good fucking idea. I might do that because I need to get the engagement up. Okay, the engagement's very low right now. I get it. Honestly, William, as a fellow content creator like Elon, you may not understand it because you're not involved in the creation of content. Maybe you are. I don't know anything about you. But I do know something. Anyway, you're a fan. I appreciate it. I like Adrian Dittman. Adrian Dittman is a good guy. And I actually don't think that it's Elon. Technically, yes, it's Elon. But I think Elon actually has multiple personality disorder. And when he's commenting as Adrian, he really believes he's Adrian. Like, that's the level of delusion that I think this guy has achieved. It's fucking pathetic. I mean, it's just pathetic to see. And then he denies it. I mean, here's the crazy thing about Elon Musk online is he thinks he's like this elaborate troll and he's like this genius that's like trolling the world. And most people are just like hate watch. I hate watch. Either with Elon Musk on X and Adrian Dittman and Elon Musk's online antics. Either you are you're either a poor dumb shill and you still love him and it's a religion for you and you worship him as a god and you have my sympathy and you have my pity, or you're hate watching him. And those are your options. But Elon Musk thinks he's like this genius troll that's like owning the libs. It's like, dude, there's a way to own the libs, but it's not what you're doing. You know? I mean, it really is. He really just goes out there and he just goes like, um, he really goes out there and he retweets stuff about like, you know, what's being like the drag queen story hour. You guys know all of this shit. You know what? Okay, I know this is against my rant that I made at the beginning of the episode. You know what we're leaving in 2024? We're leaving culture war in 2024. And you know what we're taking into 2025? Class war. That's what we're taking into 2025. Okay? And I don't advocate for violence. This is a comedy show. I love everyone. And if you commit an act of violence and you are a fan of this show, no, you're not. So yeah, thank you for the questions, William. We do have to wrap. I wish I could spend more time on the questions, but that's the news, guys. I mean, we have so much going on. We got OpenAI murdering people, China hacking the treasury, Costco is now a landlord, Russian soldiers are on e-scooters, but most importantly, the Sugar Bowl will happen, but probably not today, out of respect for the victims. So, hail Satan. I hope you have a great new year. I'm excited. I mean, we're experiencing basically the end of the Roman Empire right now. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Join the Facebook group and ask me. By the way, if you ask a question, I'll pay you $5 per question. Okay? So do that. Facebook.com/group/Sean Show. Join the Patreon. I'm about to record the Patreon right after this, where we're going to get into more detail about some of these stories. And I'm a little looser on the Patreon. Sometimes I say slurs on. No, I'm kidding. I don't. So join the Patreon, link in the description. Review the show on Spotify. If there's one thing you do for the love of Christ, review the show on Spotify because it helps increase our organic engagement. Leave me a comment. What are you looking forward to this year on Spotify and YouTube? Share the show. You guys know all the shit to do, so just do it. The show is free. People forget the show is free. Okay? My dad has spent so much money on this show, and you guys don't have any fucking appreciation for this. All right. That's it, guys. Have a great year. We're gonna hit the ground running. Lots of exciting shit coming to Sean's show this year, so stay tuned. I love you. Stay safe, and happy New Year.